everybody. Welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G. John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Saturday, only here on YouTube. We'll be joining Oldies and More radio beginning at midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time. Want to welcome you to the April 2nd, 2022 Vinyl Treasure Show. Glad you can join Johnny G on this. I guess it was a nice day today. A little bit windy here. My eyes are getting buggy with the pollen, with these yellow flowers blooming. Not really a good look for Johnny G, but want to welcome you to tonight's show. We started off here in April already as Johnny G is counting down the days to retirement, really 14 more days of work. Then I have one more day that I have to drop my PC off and whatnot, so I'm counting those days. But got lots of great 45's to feature for you tonight out of my collection. Opened up on Morty Craft's Saxony label, a band leader by the name of Louis Payne, and it's a song he wrote. It was called Oriental Rock and Roll, released in December of 1955. Now, last week I played the flip of this. Was actually a cool R&B duo by Bonnie Buckner and Danny Runjo Taylor, and it's a rare 45 on the Saxony record label. There's another rare record on this label, the Victorials, Heartbreaking Moon. I got to pull that one out to play. But our opener tonight, the instrumental, December 55, Louis Payne Orchestra on Saxony with Oriental Rock and Roll. Let's start it off here with the vocal portion. Lots of requests to get in. And this group was originally known as the Love Notes, and they had this lone release on Joe Leibowitz's premium record label, but because of Danny Robinson promoting his group recording for the Holiday label, also known as the Love Notes, he heard about this release and slapped Leibowitz with a lawsuit, and Premium was forced to change the name of the group. So early presses of this come out as the Love Notes, but then later presses come out as the True Loves. And some of you may own copies where you have a sticker over it. That's how mine is. I will show you that in a minute, but let's get to the music here. A great tune, 1957. These are the True Loves on Premium. David Haywood, he's the lead singer. The name of the tune is called A Love Like Yours.
Well, now, we're a lovely pair. No more troubles, no despair. We're a lovely pair. I sometimes wonder how did we meet on some lonely street. We're a lovely pair. You're so sweet, no you can't be beat. A love like yours is really your real. When I die without you, darling, that's no lie. Never say. And I always dream about you because you're so true. We're a lovely pair. You're so sweet, no you can't be beat. A love like yours is really your real. When I die without you, darling, that's no lie. Never say. Well, I always dream about you because you're so true. We're a lovely pair.
Yeah, we open up there with the True Loves. The True Loves from 1957. on the premium record label, originally known as the Love Notes. They were forced to change their name to the True Loves, and that is with David Haywood on lead there. A Love Like Yours is the name of the tune. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We play the music chronologically here. Going to start it off one record early, and this one here originally released in September of 1953, but I played last week a request for Tom Shaughnessy, a song called My Darling by a group called the Imperials. It was previously available on a 78 on Herman Lubinsky's Savoy record label, but he made it available to collectors in 61, issued it on the Buzzy label, and but he changed the name of the group to the Imperials. It comes out on blue vinyl. I have the common, call it the common black vinyl there, but the song originally recorded May 23rd, 1952, and they were called the Gaylords at the time of that 78 release, but the name was changed to the Imperials. This is from September 1953. Louis Van Dyke on lead. I like both sides of this record. This is the flip. The Imperials on Buzzy. It's called You Should Have Told Me.
You should have told me that you were in love with me, that you really care for me, then I would have known. You should have made sure that what you were saying, it was not a game you were playing. Then I would have known. But maybe it's not too late for me to say I love you, and things could have been different, my dear, if I had only known. You should have told me that you were in love with me, that you really cared for me. Then I would have known.
That's the sweet sound of the Imperials as Johnny G gets caught here. Tell Fred Johnny G got caught. Anyway, those are the Imperials there, September 1953, originally released on Savoy Records. I featured it on the Buzzy label. This is the only way you can get it on a 45. Those are the Imperials, Louis Van Dyke on lead. You should have told me. Yes, you should. We continue here. We move into 1954. We go to Washington, D.C. for this great group, and you know this group. It's a request, though, for listener M-Non. This is their 11th of 22 releases on the Atlantic label, and it's their follow-up to Your Cash Ain't Nothing But Trash. That's another tune I like by this group, but this has John Buddy Bailey on lead. The tune written by Dossie Terry. We go back to October 1954. Give a listen to the Clovers. The Clovers, this is for M-Non on the Atlantic label. It's called All Righty, Oh Sweetie.
Ba-do-dee-dum, wa-do-wow. Ba-do-dee-dum, wa-do-wow. Ba-do-dee-dum, wa-do-wow. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
met a smooth chick.
I met a smooth chick.
I had to move quick.
I had to move quick.
I said, ooh, pretty baby, honey, you sure look fine.
Hey, pretty baby.
Well, tell me, darling, honey, will you be mine? She said, alrighty.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, oh, sweetie.
Alrighty, oh, sweetie.
She said, alrighty.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, oh, sweetie.
Alrighty, oh, sweetie.
Alrighty, oh, sweetie. Alrighty, oh, sweetie. Alrighty. I said, ooh, ooh,
Ooh, pretty baby.
I want to woo you.
Ooh, pretty baby.
Yes, little girl, you sure look good to me.
Ooh, pretty baby.
I said, tell me, darling, what will your answer be? She said, alrighty.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, oh, sweetie.
Alrighty, oh, sweetie.
She said, alrighty.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, oh, sweetie.
Alrighty, oh, sweetie.
Alrighty, oh, sweetie. Alrighty, oh, sweetie. Alrighty.
Ba-da, 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 ba-da.
We got to hurry.
We got to hurry.
No need to worry.
No need to worry.
Let's marry, little girl. We're young and in our prime. Now tell me, darling, what you gonna say this time? She said, alrighty.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, oh, sweetie.
Alrighty, oh, sweetie.
She said, alrighty.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, oh, sweetie.
Alrighty, oh, sweetie.
Alrighty, oh, sweetie. Alrighty, oh, sweetie. Alrighty.
That's the great sound of the Clovers there. October 1954 release on the Atlantic label, the yellow and black Atlantic label for you collectors out there. The 11th of 22 releases for Atlantic. All Righty, Oh Sweetie, and that's with the John Buddy Bailey on lead. So many great tunes by the Clovers. Let's continue here. We are in 1954. Up next, a request for Timothy in our YouTube chat room. Timothy, how did you find out about this record? Because this is not a very popular record. I mean, it is amongst collectors like myself, but this is on Herb Slotkin's Grand label out of Philadelphia, great Philly group here, as this is their first of two on the Grand record label. It was written by the lead singer. His name is Sonny Gordon, and this is going out by special request to our friend Timothy in the YouTube chat room, September 1954. These are the Angels on the Grand label. It's called Wedding Bells Are Ringing in My Ears for Timothy.
What can this be that tortures me this way? Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
Wedding bells are ringing in my ear. I hear people singing so loud and clear. Those bells are driving me mad. Can't you hear them ringing mad, me mad. What would you do if she told you that she didn't even love you after all you said and done? I cried, why don't they stop? What can this mean? Eternally, I'll always be in grief, and those bells are driving me mad, driving me
That's the sound of the Angels. I was going to say the Echoes. No, the Angels. Sound of the Angels there, September 1954, by request for Timothy. Sonny Gordon, the lead singer there on Herb Slotkin's grand record label out of Philadelphia. Wedding bells are ringing in my ears. No, not anytime soon, at least not yet for Johnny G. But let's continue in 1954. Now, last week I played a request for Sugar Bear Sterling. He's in our YouTube chat room, and he requested the Thrillers on Al Silver's Herald record label from June 1954. The song was called Talk to Me. It was a cool ballad, and it was, I think it was actually Darrell Letts and Sterling himself that wanted Johnny G to flip the 45 over. So let's send this one out to Sterling and Darrell. June 1954, you flip over Talk to Me by the Thrillers. You get this cool tune here on Al Silver's Herald record label. It's called Elizabeth.
To drink my crazy foolish self to death. I'm about to drink my crazy foolish self to death. And it's all because of a gal named Elizabeth. I'm drinking whiskey mixed with gin and black port wine. I'm drinking whiskey mixed with gin and black port wine. And it's all because Elizabeth left town at night. Elizabeth, my darling. Elizabeth, my bear. Elizabeth, I want you and I really need you here. I'm about to drink my crazy foolish self to death. I'm about to drink my crazy foolish self to death. And every drink I drink, I think about Elizabeth.
Those are the Thrillers. Those are Thrillers. That's going out to a Sterling and Darrell, June 1954. That's on Al Silver's Herald record band. Elizabeth is the name of that tune here. Let's stay one more in 1954. Now, last week I featured this group out of Detroit, Michigan, the Five Emeralds. I played the side called, or the 45 called I'll Beg. That was a request for Amnon and Daniel. Came out on the SRC record label. Now, Amnon also requested their second release on the SRC record label, also issued in 1954. Again, it features Norman McLean on lead, and he also wrote their second tune. And if you saw Johnny G playing around there with my needle, that is because I put on the 78 stylus. You cannot play this record with a 45 stylus. It will sound pretty crappy. So when you go to list it on eBay and you're going to say, well, the record plays really crappy, not knowing that it's a nice VG double plus, then you'll be sorry. But this is going out to Amnon here, 1954. These are the Five Emeralds on SRC. It's called Darling.
Every burning candle, every bright and shining light reminds me of you, darling. You made my life so bright. Oh, darling. Oh, darling. You know how I care for you, no matter where you are, I'll always be true. And you know that is true. You're the only girl for me. And you know how I feel. Please hurry home to me. Oh, darling.
Oh, my darling, my darling, darling. Oh, my darling, darling.
And you know that is true. You're the only girl for me. And you know how I feel. Please hurry home to me. Oh, darling.
Oh, my darling, my darling, darling. Oh, my darling, darling.
There you go, hissing all in scratches with a 78 needle. Those are the Five Emeralds. By request for Amnon, that is their second of two on the SRC record label out of Detroit, Michigan. 1954, the Five Emeralds with Darling. Let's move into 1955 now. We have a new listener in our chat room. Actually, he discovered the show, I think, a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Ken Mack in our chat room. That is Ken McKenna. And he sent Johnny G a whole bunch of requests, and we're going to feature some of them tonight. And he has some pretty cool requests, like this one, this group from Miami, Florida. It's on Henry Stone's Chart record label. This is the B-side to their first release. And they would tour with this band leader here that is backing them up, Sonny Turner. But these are the Champions. These are the Champions from August 1955. This is by request for Ken Mack in our YouTube chat room. This one, the Champions on Chart. It's called Keep a Rockin'.
I'm so glad my baby likes to rock all night long. I'm so glad my baby likes to rock all night long. I love her and kiss her and squeeze her with all my mind. Yeah, she loves so fine. She sets my soul on fire. Yeah, she loves so fine. She sets my soul on fire. When I love you, baby, I know you, my heart's desire. Oh, I love it in the morning, evening too. Let me tell you, mama, what we gonna do? We gonna rock. Yeah, you keep me rocking. Oh, you keep me rocking. Baby, till the cows come home. Oh, one for the honey, two for the show. We make a roll and mama, let's go. Keep me rocking. Yeah, you keep me rocking. Oh, you keep me rocking. Baby, till the cows come home. Let me tell you, mama, what we gonna do? We gonna rock. Yeah, you keep me rocking. Yeah, yeah, you keep me rocking. Baby, till the cows come home. Oh, take me, mama, do with me what you please. Oh, take me, mama, do with me what you please. Well, I love you, baby, I'm on my bending knees. Well, I wanna rock. I wanna rock. Yeah, I wanna rock.
That's, whoa. There you go. That record's got some scratches on it. Yes, it does. Those are the Champions. That's by request for Kenny Mack in our YouTube chat room there. That's August 1955 on the Chart label. Chart Records, Henry Stone's Chart record label down Miami, Florida way. Keep a Rockin' is the name of the tune. That's what we do here on the Vinyltreasure show. We are in 1955. Let's go to Chicago, Illinois for this next request. It's for Daniel Kubacki, also in our YouTube chat room, as this group originally recorded for the Saber label, another Chicago label, but when Saber Records went out of business, they ended up on Vivian Carter's VJ record label. They had 2 releases on the VJ label. Now, the lead singer of this group, he was a member of the Highway Seas prior to joining the group, and his name was Johnny Taylor. Yes, the same Johnny Taylor that had all those cool soul recordings on the Stax label in the mid-1960s and the 70s. But here he is doing lead in September of 1955 for a group called the Five Echoes. And this is by request for Daniel Kubacki, the Five Echoes on VJ. It's called A Fool's Prayer. Wait. It's called Fool's Prayer.
I'm gone
baby's been gone so long. Yes, I'm gonna ask you a question. While my baby's been gone so long. Well, I put her on, and I know that I did her wrong. She was fine, sweet and manner, and I treated her so mean. Yes, she was fine, sweet and manner, and I treated her so mean. Well, I found out too late that she was my only queen. I'm gonna tell you people why I acted such a fool. Yes, I'm gonna tell you people why I acted such a fool. Well, I wasn't used to good treatment, and I broke the golden rule.
That's the sound of Chicago here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are 5 Echoes with Johnny Taylor on lead, September 1955 on the VJ record label, the second of 2, song entitled Fool's Prayer. A little scratchy on that, but that's a rare 45. We continue now. We are in 55. Now, last week, I played a request for listener Tom Shaughnessy by this other group out of Miami, Florida. They were known as Bill Robinson and the Quails, and Tom requested their 5th of 6 on Sid Nathan's deluxe record label. It was called Oh Sugar. Let's give a listen to the flip side. If you saw, I was showing you the label kind of messed up. That's what happens when there's water damage on 45. So if you're keeping your records in the basement, make sure that's not below sea level, because water is one of the worst things for vinyl 45s. Forget about albums. You're going to lose all your albums. But I mean, with some of the labels, you might be able to get away if they're not soaking in deep water. But you got to really let them dry. And then sometimes you get this film in the grooves. It's really hard to get it out. No matter how hard it is, you use a toothbrush, like a fine toothbrush in your Dawn dishwashing liquid to get it out. It don't come out. But anyway, this vinyl plays pretty decent. Let's give it a spin here. These are the Bill Robinson and the Quails, January 1955, their 5th of 6 on Deluxe Records. It's called Love of My Life.
This is the love of my life, 'cause I know it's really right. Can't you see what has happened to me? Love of my life, love of my life. I can go away from home, but I won't stay very long. Can't you see what you're doing to me? Love of my life, love of my life. I
of my life, 'cause I know it's really right. Can't you see what you're doing to me? Love, love of my life, love of my life. Of my life, 'cause I know it's really right. Can't you see what you're doing for me? Love, love of my life, love of my life.
I like that tune. Nice kind of upbeat tune to get us all upbeat. That's Bill Robinson and the Quails. January 1955 released their fifth of six on Sid Nathan's deluxe record label. Love of My Life is the name of that tune. Hopefully I'll see my love of my life tomorrow if the weather is nice. It's been kind of weird weather. Lots of wind the last few days. But anyway, let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures. This is a very rare 45. Daniel, what does this one go for? This record here by the Gaels. And I forget where I got this from, but it was not a cheap record. If I trying to remember back, it was a long, long time ago that I purchased this, but we go back to Detroit, Michigan, to the JVB record label, and JVB stands for the owner's name. John Von Battle is his name, and according to Louis Silvani, this group also recorded as the Question Marks on the Swing Time label and the Latinairs on the Drummond label. I need both those records, by the way. But on this recording, they are known as the Gaels. The lead singer on this is Isaiah Jones. He's on lead. We go back to February 1955, a rare 45 by the Gaels on JVB from February 55. I mentioned it's called Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying.
Don't let the sun catch you crying, crying in my back door. Daddy done got so mad, he don't want you no more. Don't let the sun catch you crying, crying in my back door. Daddy done turned salty, he don't want you no more. Now you can cry, yes, baby, you can wait. Put your head on the pavement until the man comes and throws you in jail. Don't let catch you crying, crying in my back door. Daddy done got so mad, he sure don't want you no more. Now when the moon goes down in the valley and the sun got you crying. You know your daddy don't want you no more. Down there, got you crying, crying in my back door. Daddy done got so mad, he sure don't want you no more. Want you no more. Want you no
That's a rare 45 out of Detroit, Michigan. Those are the Gaels. Isaiah Jones on lead. The Gaels, February 55 on the JVB record label. It's called Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying. That is the name of the tune. We move into 1956 with a request for Timothy in our YouTube chat room. Now, this is, I have to admit, you know, Johnny G takes pride in featuring only original 45s here on the program. I don't play MP3s. I don't play CDs. I don't play reissues. I don't play those crappy repros, even though I have some of them, but I play the original 45, and this is one of the few times that I am not playing a true original press. That's because I don't have it. It's a very rare record if you get this on the original club label, but I do have a press that was supposedly came out in 1959. To me, it doesn't look like a 59 press, although it could be, but maybe an early 1960s press. But the record was actually released in September of 1956. There is another reissue. I think Times Square Records was selling it back in the early 60s. 1963 it came out on the Victory label with red vinyl. But I think the sound quality isn't the greatest, although when I played mine today, it sounded okay. But I wanted to play this one here because this 45 originally came out on the club label as Pat Cordell and the Crescents. And the Crescents included Vito Picone, who, of course, Vito Picone, he was the lead singer of the Elegance, and he also wrote this song, and they were early members of the Elegance in here. I don't know if they're the same guys that ended up on the Apt releases, but the lead singer here, her name is Pat Crocchio, I think that's how you say it, but they changed her name to Pat Cordell, and as I mentioned, written by Vito Picone. I'm featuring it on the Michelle label, and this is by request for Timothy in our YouTube chat room, September 1956. It says Pat Cordell and the Elegance instead of the Crescents, and the song is called Darling Come Back. This is for Timothy.
Dilly dun da bop bop, dum bop do wada wada dun da bop bop, dum bop do wada wada dun da bop bop, dum bop do wada wada wop, wop wop bo bo bo.
Darling, come back, please come back to me. I've been so all alone, dear, as you can plainly see. Darling, come back, oh please, please come back to me. Darling, I miss you so, and darling, I will never let you go. Darling, come back, oh please, please come back to me.
as Baraquez for Timothy in our YouTube chat room. Originally released in September of 1956 as Pat Cordell and the Crescents. I featured it on the Michelle label as Pat Cordell and the Elegance. That's Darling Come Back. And Nick the Knack, you had the original on the Club label? That's a rare record. I've never even seen a copy of that. There's like some, 45 Cat has some like a paper scan of it, but I know some people have that record, but I think it's a pretty cool record. Not typical, but a great 1950s with the saxophone and everything else. And Timothy requested the flip side. I think Evan mentioned it in the chat room there. We will flip it over next week for Timothy, but that's a cool tune. I like that. Darling Come Back. I have it on Michelle. Let's continue here on the Vinyltreasure show. We go back to Detroit, Michigan, this time to Devorah Brown's Fortune record label for the great $5. This is their 8th release on the Fortune label. This is actually a cover tune that they're doing. This was first recorded by the Four Buddies on Savoy Records back in 1950, but this version is 6 years later. It features Little Eddie Hurt on lead. It mentions on the label Little Eddie, but it's Little Eddie Hurt. He's the lead singer. We go back to October 1956. These are the $5 on the Fortune label, their rendition of the tune I Will Wait.
You have gone, my darling. You have gone away. I will wait for your return until you come my way.
I will wait till eternity. I will wait. Oh, so patiently I will wait. Darling, please wait for me.
Wait there for me.
Well, it sounds so strange to hear somebody call your name. Oh, I know you are not to blame. Won't you please wait for me?
Wait there for me.
Well, it's funny, baby, but true. I love no one but you. So I feeling blue. I love no one but you. Well, I'll stay true till I hear from you. I will wait. Oh, so patiently I will wait. Darling, please wait for me.
Wait there for me.
Oh, you've gone away, my darling, and left me here to stay. Yes, I'll wait for your return.
I will wait till eternity. I will wait. Oh, so patiently I will wait. Darling,
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. They do a nice rendition of that Four Buddies tune. Those are the $5. $5 with Little Eddie on lead. Little Eddie Hurd on lead. Devorah Brown's Fortune record label played pretty nice for a Fortune. October 1956 release. Let's stay in 1956. And here is another request, this time for M&Ms as we go back to, instead of Henry Stone's chart label like we did before with the Champions, he also owned this label, Marlin Records, which is out of Miami, Florida. And this group is called the Majestics. The Majestics. And you might have heard about this Majestics group because one of the members of this group went on to bigger and better things as half of the famous soul duo that recorded for Stax Records. I'm sure many of you have heard of Sam and Dave. And Sam Moore, he was a member of this Majestics group, but the lead singer on this, his name is John MacArthur. This one from 1956 going for M&Ms, a great two-sided 45. M&Ms requested both sides, one side this week. The Majestics on Marlin. Their tune is called Nighty Night.
Well, my darling, I really hate to say nighty night. Although I've enjoyed your arms, yes, holding me tight. Bomb is shining up above. I need to go home, but it's late, my love. Almost one.
Going out to listener M&Ms there, the great Majestics. The Majestics, 1956. That's on the Marlin record label, Henry Stone's Marlin Records out of Miami, Florida. A song entitled Nighty Night. Not Nighty Night for Johnny G. Not till 1 a.m., at least 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are in 1956, and this is my favorite record by this group. I have to say, the first time I heard it was on the Gus Gossard show back sometime in the early 1970s. It's their fourth release on George Goldner's G record label. The tune written by Vic Abrams and Irving Reed, and it's with Jimmy Wright and the orchestra. This is actually a B-side, because the A-side of this, I think, charted nationally. The A-side is called The ABCs of Love, but I'm sure many of you know that tune. And it's not that it's a rarity, it's just a great song. And I love Frankie Lymon and the Teenagers. And this is from August 1956. Haven't played it in a long time, but I like the tune. This is Frankie Lymon and the Teenagers, August 1956. It's on the G record label, my favorite tune. The song is called Share. You know, when I hear that record, I get like chills up and down my spine with that. You know, that's when you're really passionate about music, when you really love the song and you get so involved in it. I always get so involved in that record. Such a great tune there for Frankie Lymon and the Teenagers, August 1956 release. That's their fourth release on George Goldner's G record label. The flip side to the ABCs of Love, another cool up-tempo tune, but that's a nice ballad song entitled Share. Let's continue. Here we are in 1956. Here's another request, this time for listener Daniel Kubacki. Now, last week, Daniel requested the flip side of this 45 by the great Otis Williams and the Charms. They're out of Cincinnati, Ohio. So is the label, Sid Nathan's Deluxe Records, and tons of releases by Otis Williams and his Charms. But this was their 19th, and the side I played last week was called One Night Only. The flip side is also pretty nice, and Daniel requested it. May 1956, Otis Williams and his Charms on Deluxe by request for Daniel. It's called It's All Over.
It's all over. I played a losing game. They're awful loud. when we met, I trusted you, believed you to be true. Then I found you're the lying kind. Can't waste my time with you. It's all over. No more tears in my eyes. Found myself a new love. Good luck to you and goodbye. Well now, good luck to you and goodbye.
That's going out to Daniel Kubacki. That's the great Otis Williams and his Charms, their 19th release on Sid Nathan's deluxe record label. It's All Over is the name of that one, released in May of 1956. No, it is not all over. Not till Johnny G says it's over. That's the way it goes here. But let's continue here as we move into 1957. Was saddened to hear about the passing of this next singer, and unfortunately he passed away March 25th, 2022 from Alzheimer's. He was 84 years old. I'm talking about the late great Bobby Hendricks. And Bobby was originally from Columbus, Ohio, and before he embarked on a solo career, he was a member of a few groups, and he joined the Swallows on the King label in 1956. He was also a member of the Marquees on the Rainbow record label, and also the Flyers, which is the side I'm going to be playing up next. And he was on the Flyers. He was recruited by Bill Pinkney to become the member of this group, and he also sang with the Drifters. I'm sure you're familiar with his tune that he did lead on. It was called Drip Drop. And in 1958, he began his solo career on Juggy Murray's Sue label. I have a couple of releases coming up by him there. But let's go back to his release on the Atco record label. As he was eventually... Hendricks was fired by the Drifters management because he was asking for a raise, and then he was recruited by ex-Drifter Bill Pinkney, who had this group called the Flyers, and he became the lead singer for the group, and they had this lone release that came out on the Atco record label. This tune written by Charles Singleton and Rose Marie McCoy, as we pay tribute to the late Bobby Hendricks. He's on lead here. We go back to March 1957 for the Flyers on Atco. It's called My Only Desire.
My only desire, my dear, is to make you mine. It's been my desire, my dear, for a long, long time. I don't know how badly you need me. All I know is just how much I need you. For your love is the kind that could lead me to do the things I thought I couldn't do. That's why my only desire, my dear, is to win your heart. It's been my desire, my dear, from the very start. If you say you wouldn't be mine, I wouldn't want someone new. 'Cause my only desire is to have no one but you.
you. No one but you.
And no one but you.
That's the late Bobby Hendricks on lead with the Flyers there. What a great record that is. From March 1957 on the Atco record label, My Only Desire. I'm going to send that one out to George Tompkins. I know he loves that tune as we pay tribute to the late Bobby Hendricks. I have two other records by him coming up, I think in 58 and another one in 1959. But let's continue here. Let's go out to California. Have I been out to California yet tonight? I don't know. But this is on Leon Renee's Class record label for this group called the Classics, which was a popular name for vocal groups back in the 1950s. But this is the same group that recorded for the Crest label in 59 a song called Let Me Dream. But I like both sides of this 45. We're going to feature the up-tempo side tonight. This one from December 57. These are the Classics on the Class label. It's called Gosh, But This Is Love.
Wonder why I feel this way. Happiness is what they say. No, I don't know, but I'll go. Gosh, but this is love. I hear the music and there's no one there. I smell the blossom and the trees are bare. There's the horse, the cow, and the bees, the dog. Gosh, but this is love. Oh, been running like crazy. Just don't know what to do. Like a jerk, you know I don't work. All I do is think of you. Wonder why I feel this way. Happiness is what they say. You know I don't know, but I've been told. Gosh, but this is love. Running like crazy. Just don't know what to do. Like a jerk, you know I don't work. All I do is dream of you. But if you knew how much I love you, the sun would always shine. You reckon I'm funny, we'll make much money. Gosh, but this is love. This is love. This is love. Wow. This is love. This is love. This is love. Wow. This is love. Oh, running like crazy. Just don't know what to do. Like a jerk, you know I don't work. All I do is think of you. What if you knew how much I love you? The sun would always shine. You reckon I'm funny, would make much money. Gosh, but this is love. Gosh, this is love.
December 1957 release there for a group known as the Classics on the Class label. How classy that is. Song entitled Gosh, But This Is Love. Johnny G is in love when I do the Vinyl Treasure Show. I have a passion for this music. I don't know if you can tell that or not, but I do. But let's continue here in 1957. And this is a request for listener Amnon. This group is out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it was Pittsburgh disc jockey Jay Mitchell. He was a DJ at WCAE, and he was also a talent scout for record mogul George Golner. And in return, George Golner set up a partnership with him in a label called Cindy Records. This label that I showed you guys in the YouTube chat. Those of you new to the program, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You will get notifications. I forgot to mention that, but you should do that. You should, and click the bell to get the emails, and also click the thumbs up. But anyway, back to this. He had a partnership with this Jay Mitchell, George Golner and Jay Mitchell, with this Cindy record label, which was named after the disc jockey's daughter. Her name was Cindy, and one of the groups that was signed to the label was this group. They were called the Orlandos, and it's a request for listener Emnon. The tune was written by Ronnie Williams. He is also the lead singer on this. The problem with this record is I can never find this record clean. It's hard enough to find this copy, the block print Cindy. You can get the other print. I think it's like Cindy in this little box. I have it. I'll show you. But it's hard to get this original press, the first press, clean. So you're going to hear some surface noise on this, but it's from September 57. These are the Orlandos, going out to Emnon on the Cindy label. It's called Cloudburst.
There's a
Cloudburst in the sky, coming from above. Tell me, oh please tell me, am I really in love? Oh, Cloudburst, oh, she's gone. We were together, two hearts as one. Please won't you find her and send my loved one back home. Please won't you find her, I ask this of you. Bring us together, I'm asking you to. Please, Mr. Cloudburst, see what you can do. If you see her, tell her I need her. Tell her I miss her so. Oh, won't you do this? I know you can do it. Won't you make my darling oh, I'm alone. I need someone to call my own. Please won't you find her and send my loved one back home.
That's by request for Emnon Hiss and all there. Like I said, I cannot find a clean copy of that. Can't find that record, period. It's really hard to find that on original. The Orlandos there on the Cindy label, Cindy Records, September 57 release with Ronnie Williams on lead. Song entitled Cloudburst. And that is what Kenny Mack was saying. Johnny G had a cloudburst on that deluxe record. No way. If I'm going to cry, it's going to be tears of joy for the 45's. But anyway, let's continue here. We are in 1957, and let's go back out to the West Coast to Don Barksdale's Rhythm record label. Don Barksdale, a basketball player back in the 1950s, but he owned a radio station in Oakland, California, and a record label, Rhythm Records. Lots of cool records on the Rhythm label, although they're not common, I'll tell you that much. But this is a request for Daniel Kubacki on Don Barksdale's Rhythm label out of San Francisco, California. Now, on last week's show, I featured the group's third release on Rhythm. It was called Hard to Please. That was a request for Daniel. He also requested the group's second release, and it features 15-year-old Alice Jean Wilton on lead. So we go back to June 1957. Actually, I'm going to have a twin spin here with Alice Jean and the Mondelos. The first is their final release on the Rhythm label. This is by request for Daniel. This is their second. I'm sorry. Their second release on Rhythm. June 57. The Mondelos on Rhythm with That's What I Call Love. This is for Daniel.
Now listen, dear darling, what I have to say. I'm gonna tell you my love, waiting each day. So hurry up, come back to me, and live eternally. That's what I call love. It's emotional and emotional. Anything be so true. To love someone, dearest darling, way I love you. So hurry up, come back to me, and live eternally. That's what I call love.
Do-wop, 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 do-wop. Dearest darling, I'm writing you this letter to let you know that I still feel the same as I did before. And darling, I'm hoping that you feel the same way too. Darling, I've been so lonely since you've been away. And darling, I'm hoping that you'll soon come home. That you'll hurry home, darling. Please come home.
So hurry up, come back to me, and live eternally. That's what I call love.
That's Alice Jean and the Mondelos by request for Daniel Kubacki. That's their second release on Don Barksdale's Rhythm record label, June 1957. That's What I Call Love. We're going to follow it up with a twin spin by Alice Jean and the Mondelos. As last week I played the flip side of this. It was actually requested by Daniel. It was called Hard to Please. It was listener Cheryl Morgan asked Johnny G to play the flip side of this. So this was their third release on the Rhythm label. This one came out in December 1957, and she was a year older by that time of the year, of course. She was 16-year-old Alice Jean Wilton and the Mondelos. And this is going out to Cheryl, our twin spin, their third release. It's called Happiness Street.
Why am I happy? Why am I gay? Me and my baby just moved out today to a happiness street, corner of Sunshine Square. Now we don't quarrel
That's going out to Cheryl Morgan there. That's Alice, Jean, and the Mondelos. She was 16 years old by this time she recorded that. A little bit more forceful in her voice, but that's December 1957. That's on the Rhythm record label. Not many releases on Rhythm, but there's some rarities on that label. I like the Lyrics Every Night. I got two versions of that Lyrics record. I have to pull it out again. I haven't played it in a while. But anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We move into 1958, and I have to ask Sugar Bear Sterling in our YouTube chat room, how did you find out about this next record? I'm just curious because Sugar Bear Sterling has been listening to the Vinyl Treasure Show, giving me a request the last few weeks, and he requested this song, and I didn't know what it was, and I wasn't sure that I had the record, but I run the Carlton label, so I checked my Ken Clee book, and I said, well, I have this record, and I don't recall ever listening to it because I just bought it because I needed the number. This was Carlton number 487. So, and I have the red promo on this, but I guess we can call this like an Ed Townsend type sound or a Donnie Owen type sound with a female chorus in the background. But it is playable here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, and it's a request. No info on this artist, but Sterling asked me if I had Johnny Foster, and it's a tune he wrote. It's on Joe Carlton's Carlton record label. This one released in October of 1958, so we send it out to Sterling. Johnny Foster on Carlton. It's called Baby Marie for Sterling.
Sun goes down, I sit at my window and gaze at the town. Oh, when are you coming home to me, baby Marie? Baby Marie, I gave you my heart, you found another and tore mine apart. Oh, still I'll forgive you. Just come home, baby Marie. One of these days now, you wait and see. You're gonna be lonely, lonely like me. Then you'll come crawling on your hands and your knees, crying, take me, take me, take me. Baby Marie, there's one thing I know, I'm gonna get older, and even though you never come back, I'll always love you so. I'll always love you, baby. Baby Marie.
As by request for Sugar Bear Sterling, that's Johnny Foster. Johnny Foster from October 1958 appears to be his only release, at least on the Carlton label. Song entitled Baby Marie. Fred says that that Jack Scott recorded that. That's interesting. I need to check my stash of 45s because, like I said, I would buy anything by Jack Scott that I didn't have on the Carlton label. I mean, he had a lot of hits, but he had others that did not chart. But let's continue here. We are in 1958. Here's a request for new listener Kenny Mack in our YouTube chat room, and this is the debut single for this group, this well-known group out of Brooklyn, New York. It's on Gene Schwartz's MG record label. This is actually, Fred, wasn't MG the start of, was it? Yeah, MG was the start of Laurie Records, I would think, because this is MG number 1004. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway, it's Mario DeAndre. He's the lead singer on this, and this is a classic record that Kenny Mack requested. These are the 5 discs from February 1958 on the MG label, and their classic, it's called I Remember.
All of the time, and now you know that I love you so. With my head spinning over you. Well, I remember when you used to care. Well, my head is spinning, my heart is turning around. I'm walking in a daze. Tell me, baby, where can I be found? Now that you're gone, I'm all alone. Oh, please, my darling, won't you come home? Well, I remember when you used to care. Oh, oh, oh.
That's going out to Kenny Mack there, the great 5 discs. That's their debut single, released in February 1958 on the MG record label. Their tune called I Remember, a song I first heard on the Gus Gossard show. And I mentioned to my late aunt about that record. She goes, "Oh, Johnny, you got to get that record. That's a great record." Of course, when I ended up getting it, it was at a flea market. I found it on the Vic label. I was kind of confused. I didn't have the MG label, but then later on I found it on Russ Records, which was the third press. I think Fred mentioned it in the chat room there. But first on MG, then it comes out on the Vic label, and then finally on the Rust. But the styrene Rust is the true first press. Let's continue here on the Vinyltreasure show. And up next is a rare girl group sound. I showed you. It's on a styrene label. The one thing with styrene records, they also used crappy glue to glue their labels on. Of course, I never ended up buying the glue to stick this back on, but I will. But I'm really kind of squeamish about doing it. I was talking to a couple of people. Greg Surik said you can get the you know that glue that comes, like, it looks like it comes in a chapstick, where you can like kind of put it on the label. I hate to use Elmer's glue. I tried it before. It's too wet, and the paper will like bubble up, or it'll buckle up, and sometimes it kind of gets too wet and it doesn't stay flat. But you can buy, I think it looks like a chapstick, and you see there's no label on this. It fell off from, I don't know, heat or age or whatever, but it's a mint record. It was funny how I found this record, because I was searching for it I don't know, somebody played it, and I searched for it on the internet, and I found this website, and it gave this record, it said it was in mint condition, and it was a listing from like 1998. So I contacted the guy via email. I said, do you still have the Debutants for sale for $60? So the guy said to me, yes, I do, Johnny. If you send me a money order for $60, I'll send you the record. I mean, I believed him. I said, so I think it's worth more than $60 if I'm not mistaken, but it's a request for Nick Nicola. Nick Nicola requested this rare girl group sound. It's out of New York City. This is a label distributed by Poplar Records, and I have the white sample copy, and it's out of 1958. This is by request for Nick Nicola, the Debutants on KO, K-A-Y-O. It's called Going Steady.
Going steady. We got together the night of the prom. We got together dancing on and on. Now we're going steady, and I love you more and more each day. You said you loved me and would be true. You put a spell on me. What did you do? Now we're going steady, and I love you more and more each day. You held me in your arms and kissed me tenderly. Ooh, you said, darling, will you belong to me? Ooh, I said yes, you know I will be. Now we're going steady, and we're living happily. Oh, you said you love me and would be true. You put a spell on me. What did you do? Now we're going steady, and I love you more and more each day.
That's a rare girl group sound by request for Nick Nicola. They're called the Debutants. That lead sounds familiar. I gotta listen. I gotta ask John Clemente if he knows who that lead is. It sounds another lead of one of those girl group things out of New York, though. This is Going Steady, KO Records out of New York City. I have other records on this KO label also, and but I like that record, 1958. Well, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And last week I played a request for Joe Shacatano. He requested the El Rays out of Los Angeles on the Jade label. It was called Mr. Moonglow, and featured Horace Wooten on lead for that. Of course, he was also the lead singer of the Chimes that recorded on the Specialty record label. But let's flip over the 45. I think Daryl Letts, you might have asked Johnny G to play the B side of this. And so let's give it a spin here before we file it back down. We send it out to Daryl Letts, the El Rays from 1958 on the Jade label. It's called Need Your Love.
Hey, baby.
Need you, need you, need you. I need your loving. Need you, need you, need you. I need your loving. Need you, need you, need you. I need your loving.
Baby.
Baby, baby, baby. I need your loving. Baby, baby, baby. I need your hugging. Baby, baby, baby. Oh, can't do without you. Even though people may talk about you, baby, baby, baby. Oh, I need your love. Yes, I love you, baby. All my heart, and I hope we'll never part. Without your love, I can't go on. Please, pretty baby, love me all night long. Baby, 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 I need you nightly. Baby, 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 to hold me tightly. Baby, 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 oh, I need your love. Love you, baby, all my heart, and I hope we'll never part. Without your love, I can't go on. Please, pretty baby, love me all night long. Baby, 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 I need you nightly. Baby, 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 to hold me tightly. Baby, 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 oh, I need your love. Oh, I need your love. Oh, I need your love.
That has a similar sound to one of the Moonglow's records. What's that Moonglow record? They were recorded as the Moonlighters. What is that record? Johnny G drawing a blank. I know you know, Big Dave Swinger, what I'm talking about. They were the Moonlighters. What is the Shoe Doobie Doo? Is that it? Yeah, My Lovin' Baby. That's what it reminded me of, that record. But anyway, those are the El Rays. Yes, the Kings. That's there for 1958, going out to Darrell Letts. On the Jade label, Need Your Love is the name of the tune. We continue here. We are in 1958. I have another tribute record to the late Bobby Hendricks as he went solo recording for the Sue record label, Juggy Murray's Sue label. He had 8 releases. This was his first, and the A side of this ended up to being his biggest hit. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with the tune called Itchy Twitchy Feeling. But I love the B-side of the 45. It's an excellent ballad, and lots of the flip sides are off-center, some more than others. This isn't that bad, but it kind of throws the record a little off. I don't think this one is that bad, but yes, I think it was Darrell, and now Big Dave mentioned it, that the vocal group backing him up on this, both sides of this record, are the Coasters. The Coasters backing up the late Bobby Hendricks. We go back to June 1958 with a B-side on the Sue label. Bobby Hendricks and the uncredited Coasters backing him up on this tune called 1,000 Dreams.
The heartaches that I feel inside, and of the tears I'm trying to hide. Little do they know, little do they care, I'm a man of 1,000 dreams. Whoa, 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 whoa. They see me laughing, happy and carefree, but whenever I'm alone, I'm in misery. Little do they know, little do they care, I'm a man of 1,000 dreams. I had a girl who loved only me. Did her wrong, I know. She left me with tears in her eyes. She said, never miss your water until your well runs dry. Now as I walk along with with my head held high. Some people seem to think a man shouldn't cry. Little do they know, little do they care. I'm a man of 1,000 dreams. Now as I walk alone with my head held high, some people think a man should not cry. Little do they know, little do they care. I'm a man of 1,000 dreams. I'm a man of 1,000 dreams.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's the late Bobby Hendricks. Bobby Hendricks and the Uncredited Coasters from June 1958 on the Sue record label. 1,000 Dreams is the name of that one. The flip side is his biggest hit called Itchy Twitchy Feeling. Let's stay in 1958 as we go to Newport News, Virginia for this next group that you all know. First recording for the Aladdin label back in the early 1950s. You know, I think their biggest hit on Aladdin was a song called Glory of Love. That was a #1 R&B tune for that group. But this is a request for Timothy in our YouTube chat room, as he wanted to hear one of the releases on the Capitol label, and this lead singer on this is Rudy West. Rudy West here, the lead singer on this 45 here by the Five Keys. It's on the Capitol record label. We go back to June 1958. The Five Keys on Capitol, going out to Timothy. It's called Emily Please.
Emily, Emily, please, please, Emily, 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 please, please, Emily.
Emily, I gotta know there's no one else but me. Confess no other arms will hold you tight, 'cause you're my heart's shining light.
Oh, Emily,
Well, Emily, remind your heart to treat me tenderly. I know that you're an angel from above, but you're the one I love.
oh, Emily, be mine.
Each time your lips touch mine, I'm sure you're in love with me. But then I ask myself, is my imagination playing tricks on me? Well, Emily, with you my life could be so heavenly. We're getting mighty close to, ecstasy. Give me your love, Emily, please.
Oh, Emily, please, please, Emily. Oh, Emily, my Emily. Please, please, Emily. Oh, Emily, sweet Emily. Please, please, Emily.
As by request for Timothy, those are the Five Keys. Rudy West and the Five Keys, July 1958. Their follow-up to With All My Heart, song entitled Emily Please on the Capitol record label. Now, last week I played a request from my #1 California listener, Mady Campboy. She requested Earl Lewis and the Channels, featured it on Bobby Robinson's Fury record label. The song was called My Love Will Never Die, and I think it was Big Dave Swinger asked Johnny G to play the flip side of this. So we're going to send this one out to Big Dave in our YouTube chat room. Now, I posted a scan of this as I usually do right before I come on the program on Facebook. I get a lot of listeners that tune into the program on Facebook. They come into the program, and they'll either see me on YouTube or they'll see me on Oldies and More, which will be joining at midnight tonight. So I posted the scan of this record with the small logo, and it created a firestorm of comments about the record, because a lot of people never saw the small logo. For what reason, I don't know, because the Kodak's release before this on the yellow label doesn't have this small print. So I don't know if it was one of the pressing plants. I don't know what Bobby Robinson used, which pressing plant, whatever, but maybe it was the first run and they kind of messed up on the logo. It was smaller for some reason, but I've never seen another copy. I bought this years and years ago. I think the guy charged me $16 for this, or $10 for the record, if I remember. It was Mike Demersion, by the way, but or was it maybe John Boza? Maybe this was your copy. Sometimes John Boza tunes into the show. This might be his copy because I got it from Mike. But anyway, let's flip it over here. It's a great two-sided 45. It's going out to Big Dave. January 59, The Channels with Earl Lewis on lead on the Fury label. Either way. And it's called Bye Bye Baby for Big Dave.
Well, bye, 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 baby. Oh, I really love you so. Bye, bye, baby. Oh, I'll never, never let you go. Bye, bye, baby. Oh, I really love you so. Really love you so. Bye, bye, baby. I hate to see you go.
That's the sound of Earl Lewis and the Channels on the Fury record label. January 1959 release. Bye Bye Baby is the name of the tune. The flip side of My Love Will Never Die. That's going out to Big Dave Swinger. Featured it on the small logo Fury. Whatever that means, I have no clue. Anyway, we continue here. Let's move into 1959. Let's go to Brooklyn, New York. One of the groups that was discovered by Al Brown, the orchestra leader and songwriter and producer. And actually, this is a request for listener Mnon. He requested this Rare 45. It's on the Al John label. I think that's his label, by the way. And this group would later would have releases would later have releases on the Atlas and Angletone record labels. Also recorded one on the Bud, B-U-D Records. But I disagree with the release dates on some of the publications. Some say it's 61. No way. This is either late 58, early 1959. It credits Al Brown. The credits are Brown and Sandler. And those are the same writers that wrote the tune To Make a Long Story Short. I'm sure many of you know that release on Scepter by Eddie and the Starlights. But this is a group called the Lincolns. And I'm saying this one here, early 1959. This is going out to M&Ms, the Lincolns on the Aljon record label. It's called Madly in Love.
Say goodbye. No, I'll never, never, never make you cry, because I'm madly in love, madly in love with you. Darling, I'll always be yours if you be mine, and my love
It's going out to M&Ms there. Those are the Lincolns 1959 release on the Aljon record label out of Brooklyn, New York, song entitled Madly in Love. They have others on Atlas and Angletone. Those two labels also. Let's continue now. And I have one more tribute record to the late Bobby Hendricks. And not only did the Coasters do background vocals on that side, they also backed up Bobby on two other records, Dreamy Eyes, backed with Molly Be Good, and also 1,000 Dreams. And this side here, they also backed him up. This is a tune written by band leader Jimmy Oliver. This is his third of 8 on the Sioux record label as we conclude my tribute to the late Bobby Hendricks. January 59 on the Sioux label, Bobby Hendricks with his tune called It's Misery.
Want you, need you, honest I do. It's misery, knowing you no longer care. It's haunting me, the love we used to share. I played the game, but I didn't play it fair. I lost. Honest, I do. I'm sorry, dear, if I Just let me know if you still feel the same about me. Will I ever hold you again in my arms? And will I ever thrill again to your charm? Now it's misery knowing you no longer care. It's haunting me, the love we used to share. I played the game, but I didn't play it fair. I lost.
That's the late Bobby Hendricks. We conclude my small tribute to that man. Great voice, January 1959. Great guy, Bobby Hendricks there on the Sue record label. It's Misery, his third of 8 on Sue, being backed up by the Coasters on that release. Let's continue here as we welcome in the Oldies and More Radio Network. Thank you all for tuning in to the Vinyl Treasure Show. We count down the music chronologically here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are in 1959, and here's a request for listener Ken McKenna. Kenny Mac requested this tune here for this group from the Bronx, New York. Now, you know their signature song came out on Backbeat Records in 1957. It was called Tell Me Why. Why this one was never a hit for the group, I'll never know, especially being on a major label like Capitol Records. But it was written by the lead singer of the group, and that is Norman Fox. This one from January 1959, going out to Kenny Mac, Norman Fox, and the Rob Roys. I mean, I would like a slice of this now, but this is on a Capitol label. The song is called Pizza Pie.
Well, we were standing on the sidewalk just admiring the view, and we thought that we would go downtown and find something to do. And we saw this place upon the corner and it looked real swell, so we opened the door and we went inside. This is what we yell now: pizza. Hey, pizza. Well, I got a chick I really dig. I'm gonna love her all of my life. I'm gonna take her home and marry her and keep her for my wife. And when the people come and ask me the question, I'm gonna tell them why. Cause she stands in the kitchen and makes me all those great big pizza pies. Now pizza. Hey, pizza. Well, the time went by and we had some kids, and they're the apple of my eye. And they grow growing big and strong and tall, and their heads right up to the sky. Now some may wonder why they're so healthy. This is my reply: 'cause they've been born and bred and always fed on great big pizza pies. Now pizza, hey pizza. Well, and now I'm getting old, hey brother, and I'm getting ready to die. But there's one request that I must make before I hit the sky. And that request is something no man in his right mind did not deny. 'Cause when they put me 6 feet under, I'm taking a great big pizza pie. Now pizza, hey pizza pie, hey pizza pie, pizza pie.
That's by request for Kenny Mack in our YouTube chat room. Not too late, Kenny. I guess it depends what time you go to bed, because, of course, you're not supposed to eat before you go to bed. That is a definite no-no. So maybe if you're going to be up for a couple hours, like I'm usually up, a couple hours after I close down the show as I wind down. So I'll be munching on, like on some almonds or something. Nothing really heavy. It's not like I'm going to go out and get a burger, but maybe a margarita pizza. But anyway, that's Norman Fox and the Rob Roys, January 59, released on the Capitol label, Pizza Pie, the name of the tune. Daryl Wants to Flip, Dream Girl, a great tune, by the way. And Big Dave Swinger mentions that they were probably still under contract with Don Roby, or probably did something to mess it up. I'm telling you, Don Roby, he was a sly label owner. I remember he didn't pay his taxes either. He was in default where the government, they took over his, I think he had at least 2 warehouses of 45's. And I know of 2 sales. There were a bunch of guys that ended up putting in bids for all these records. I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of 45's that I have purchased. I bought mine from Saturn Music. There's a couple other guys I think that still have the records. Who sold out? Who was the guy that had Rhythm Records out in California? I forget his name. It'll come to me because I had him here at the house when I had that big record party. It'll come to me. But anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Here's a request for listener Joe Shacatano. Joe, when you don't give me an earlier request or from an earlier year, you end up getting it in the well, this is 1959 anyway for Joe. And Joe always sends me great requests like this one here. Now, initially, Joe requested the Madison Brothers out of Philadelphia on the Shure label with the song called Baby Don't. Now, I don't have that 45. But I do have it the first way it came out on the local Rhythm label, but not as the Madison Brothers. It came out as the Royal Demons, and then it was released, I think, later in the year of 1959 on the Shure label, but it first came out on the Orange Rhythm label, and I think Ferris Hill is the lead of this group, if I'm not mistaken. So this is going out to Joe Shacatano, May 59, the Royal Demons. I have it, aka the Madison Brothers, and their tune called Baby Don't. This is for Joe.
Don't break my heart.
As by request for Joe Shacatano there, those are the Royal Demons. Royal Demons from May 1959 on the Rhythm record label. Baby Don't is the name of the tune. Also released on Shure Records probably later on in the year, on 1959, with a different flip, by the way. But anyway, let's continue. Here we are in 59. We go to Newark, New Jersey for this next group. They were managed by singer and songwriter Joe Seneca. And he was this was the group's only release. Of course, Joe Seneca, also an actor, also wrote some pretty big hit tunes, by the way. But he managed this group. It came out on the Warner Brothers record label, group also written by. They were managed by Joe Seneca, not written. The song was not written by Joe Seneca, but it was written by group member Steve Barnhart, and he's also, and the lead singer, his name is Bobby Klein. And this is from April 59. Let's give a listen to this group called the Mello Gents. The Mello Gents on Warner Brothers. It's called Baby Be Mine.
Baby, be mine, because I love you so, and I want the world to know that we go together. Please take my hand, then we can go into love's wonderland. My heart is longing for you. Oh, baby, be mine. Maybe someday you'll come my way, and I will be pleading for you. Baby, you see, your heart belongs to me, so let the world know. Baby, be mine, because I love you so, and I want the world to know that we go together. We go
A group called the Mello Gents. They're out of Newark, New Jersey. April 59 release, Baby Be Mine. That one there on the Warner Brother record label. Let's go back out to California. This is a request for listener Nick Nicola, although this singer originally from Blythe, California, began recording back in 1951, but in 1958 he was the lead singer of the Shields, the lead singer on the song You Cheated, which that was a big hit for the group. But here he is with an uncredited vocal group. This one came out on the Heart record label, and it's a song he wrote, and this is by request for Nick Nicola. Let's give a listen to Frankie Irvin. Frankie Irvin, the lead singer of the Shields, or formerly lead singer of the Shields, it said on the label. 1959 on the Heart label. It's called Some Other Guy.
Promised to be mine, but now you broke that promise, going out with other guys. Better stay away now and try your lies on some other guy. though I love you so, it's best we don't see each other. That's the best thing I know. Better stay away now and try your lies on some other guy. I know I was a fool falling in love only with you, but deep in your heart you know that your love was never true. Baby, all you did was hurt me, but though I love you so, it's best we don't see each other. That's the best thing I know. Better stay away now and try your lies on some other guy, darling, and try your little lies on some other guy. Some other guy.
That's going out to Nick Nicola there, Frankie Irvin, and a group on the Heart record label out of California, 1959. Some Other Guy is the name of that one. He also recorded as Frankie Day on the Caddy record label, and Frankie Irvin also releases on Guidin' and Contender and Rendezvous and Indigo, and I Need the One on the Don label with the Spears backing him up. Anyway, let's move into 1960 now with this group out of Providence, Rhode Island, and it's a request for listener Joe Shacatano. You may know their biggest hit. It was called Mr. Lonely. Came out earlier in 1960 on the JDS record label, but Joe requested their second on JDS, and co-written by the lead singer. His name is Peter Andreoli. But I just showed you guys, looking at the those of you watching Johnny G on YouTube, I showed you the two presses that I have on the JDS, the light gray label with the black print and the dark gray label with the silver print. But I also have this on a label called Tic-Tac-Toe, which supposedly is the second. So I don't know the reason. Maybe it was released locally, possibly in Rhode Island, because this group is out of Providence, Rhode Island. So I don't know the story. Really didn't indulge into it. But Kreider says this is the second. But let's send this one out to Joe Shacatano. These are the Videls from July 1960 on JDS. It's called She's Not Coming Home for Joe.
Every night I ask myself, is she coming home? Every night I ask myself, is she coming home?
There's no use hoping, no use crying, no need wishing, no use denying. She's not coming, she's not coming home. Every night I ask myself, to me, she left last month, back to high school, told me she'd be faithful and true, but her very first letter only told me we were through. Will she bring happiness or loneliness? Which one will it be? Each night I pray above to send me down an answer tonight. She's not coming, she's not coming home. Every night I ask myself, is she coming home? Every night I ask myself, is she coming home? Every night I ask myself,
As by request for Joe Shacatano there, the Videls. Videls out of Providence, Rhode Island, with the Peter Andrioli on lead, July 1960. Featured it on the Tic Tac Toe label, which I think is supposedly the second label. I don't know. I have it on JDS also. She's Not Coming Home is the name of the tune. Let's stay in 1960 with another flip side from last week. I featured the Paragons by request for M&Ms. The Paragons out of Brooklyn, New York, their sixth and final release for the Winley record label. The song was called So You Will Know. On that side, it featured the lead singer of Buddy Payne. It was listener Darrell Letts that asked for the flip. Now, the flip side features Ben Frazier on lead, and they're doing a cover tune. This was first recorded back in December of 1958 by Tiny Tim and the Hits as the flip side of Wedding Bells. And this is also a B-side for the Paragons from April 1960, going out to Darrell Letts on the Winley label. The song is called Doll Baby.
Well, doll baby, you are so cool, and you are upsetting me and all the boys at school, 'cause I love you. Oh yes, I love you. I love you. Say that you love me too. Well, doll baby, at 3 o'clock, hold me at the candy store. Join the gang and rock, 'cause I want you. Oh yes, I want you. I want you. Say that you want me too. Well, doll baby, let's do the stroll, and the Birdland bop slop, and the rock and roll. Let me teach you. Oh yes, let me teach you. Let me teach you. Come and go with me.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyltreasure Show. That one there by request for Darrell Letts in our YouTube chat room. Those are the Paragons with the Ben Frazier on lead. A song entitled Doll Baby from April 1960 on the Winley record label. Johnny G broadcasting live here on YouTube, and we also join the Oldies and More radio network. And I have a public service announcement to say here on Oldies and More Radio, as we have for the radio station. We need support. There's only 1 month out of the year that we ask for your support, and it's the month of April. So Oldies and More Radio brings you the best music from the 1950s, 60s, and early 70s, 24/7, 365 days a year. Now, Oldies and More Radio is entirely supported by you, our listeners. Now, all the DJs and the staff volunteer their time, and our only source of support is donations from our listeners. Now, donations will pay for the fees for the music we play, along with our website, chat room, hosting and rental of our radio server. And at this time, the month of April, we can accept donations by check or money order that is made payable to the Oldies and More, or mailed to Oldies and More Radio, 165 Colby Avenue, that's in Syracuse, New York, 13206. Oldies and More Radio, 165 Colby Avenue, Syracuse, New York, 13206. Or you can use PayPal if you go to the webpage, the Oldies and More webpage at www.oldiesandthenMOReradio.com. You can contribute via PayPal, and any support is welcome. If you can't send anything, you're 100% welcome to listen and join us in the chat room. And thank you and welcome to Oldies and More Radio. So I have to read that. That is per our station manager. So those of you tuned in on Oldies and More Radio, please support our station. Johnny G also broadcasts on YouTube. But anyway, that is a different outlet. But let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, as I'm losing my voice with these allergies. And let's go to this request for listener Ronnie Sherman. We go back out to California, and this is an ultra rare 45 on the Tory Limited label, which is also out of Hollywood, California, and it's Charles Andrea and the High Tones. And this is a great two-sided 45 going out to listener Ronnie Sherman, April 1960 on Tory Limited, Charles Andrea and the High Tones. It's called Open Up Your Heart. This is for Ronnie.
I love you eternally, stronger each day in every way.
You're mine, and you'll always be my
That's by request for Ronnie Sherman, Sound of California here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, and a rare 45 by Charles Andrea and the High Tones. Sugar Bear is asking me who else did this. Let me just look and see. Charles Andrea. This is the original here, Sugar Bear. And Charles Andrea, he co-wrote the tune here, so that's his original. I don't know who else may have recorded that, but it's a rare record. That cost me some bucks, this record. April 1960, going out to Ronnie Sherman, Open Up Your Heart on the Tory Limited record label. Let's continue here out of 1960. This is a request for my number one California listener, female listener. That'd be Matey Campboy, for this artist, originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, but he moved up to Buffalo, New York, became a member of the Vibra Harps. I don't think he recorded with the group, but he was a member of the group, and he went solo in 1957, recording for Deluxe Records, had 7 releases on Deluxe before he signed with VJ Records, and Amady requested his second of 3, a song he co-wrote. As we go back to July 1960 for Mr. Donnie Elbert. Donnie Elbert, this is going out to Matey Campboy on VJ Records. It's called Baby Let Me Love You Tonight. That's the second of 3 for Mr. Donnie Elbert on the VJ record label, July 1960 release. Song entitled Baby Let Me Love You Tonight. That's by request for Matey Campboy. We stay in 1960. This is a request for listener Joe Shacatano. This singer, he's from Brooklyn, New York. His real name was Hartley Schwartzberg, but he shortened his name to Lee Adrian, and this came out on the Richcraft record label, and he's being backed up by a vocal group. They're uncredited, but they're the Chaperones that recorded Cruise to the Moon. They're backing up this artist by the name of Lee Adrian. This one from March of 1960 on Richcraft Records by request for Joe Shacatano. And I said this to my girlfriend Barbara probably 11 years ago. The song is called Barbara, Let's Go Steady. This is for Joe.
Barbara, let's go steady.
Oh, how I love you, Barbara, you're the one. Last night at the party, gosh, we had such fun. And when I held you so close to me, oh gee, you're so wonderful. The way that you kissed me, oh, what a thrill. And then how you looked at me, my heart stood still. Please, oh please, be my steady. I want you to be devoted to me. Don't ever leave me all by myself, just like a book on an empty shelf. Oh, my Barbara, so precious to me. I want you, I need you, I love you. Can't you see? You're my baby, and I want you to know I'll never, ever, ever let you go. Please, oh please, be my steady. I want you to be so honest and truly devoted to me.
As by request for Joe Shacatano, that's Lee Adrian and the uncredited Chaperones backing him up from March 1960. It's on the Richcraft record label, song entitled Barbara, Let's Go Steady. Let's move on here. We move into 1961 with a flip side from last week as I played a request for listener John Reinbeck. He requested Tex and the Czechs, another group out of Brooklyn, New York, on the Atlantic record label. We featured the A-side. It was called I Do Love You. Now, John also wants Johnny G to play the flip side, so we're going to send the flip side out to listener John Reinbeck. This is from August 61. The group is called Tex and the Czechs. Gary Bonner, he's the lead singer. This is on Atlantic Records. This side is called My Love.
Baby,
August 1961 release there for Tex and the Checks by request for John Reinbeck. That's on the Atlantic record label. That's the B-side to I Do Love You, song entitled My Love. They have other releases on Newtown and also on 20th Century Fox. Let's stay in 1961 with a request for Matey Campboy as we go back to Washington, D.C. I think I was there earlier in the Clovers. They were in Washington, D.C. And we heard from the Clovers. Now, Matey requested this group called the Mar-Vells, and they have two releases on this label, Win Records. They also recorded as the Senators, but on this one they're called the Mar-Vells, and it features Sam Gilbert on lead, and this is a standard covered by so many artists through the years. We can't say, well, I think Buddy Johnson was the one who first wrote this song, but so many groups recorded it, and I love this version. So this is going out to Matey Campboy, September 61, the Mar-Vells on Win, W-I-N-N, and their rendition of the tune For Sentimental Reasons. That's by request from Matey Campboy there. Great tune by the Mar-Vells, a.k.a. the Senators. Yes, a.k.a. the Gaels. Thank you, Daryl. September 61, Sam Gilbert on lead, the Mar-Vells there on the Win label, For Sentimental Reasons. Great tune that is. Let's continue in 1961. A long-lost hit for Sugar Bear Sterling. I did find this record this week, Sterling, and this is out of California now. This duet, or no, duo, not duet, we'll say duo. They're out of Oxnard, California. They are Philip Tucker and Harv Harvey Phillips, and they have this release on the Rampart record label as Phil and Harv, and there are two uncredited groups backing them up on this. The Mixtures, along with the Blossoms. You know, the Blossoms, Darlene Love and the Blossoms, they're backing this duo up. This charted regionally. This was a number 18 record on KIST out of Santa Barbara, California. It's their first of two on Rampart Records for Phil and Harv. This is by request for Sugar Bear Sterling, February 61 on the Rampart label, Phil and Harv with Darling parentheses, Please Bring Your Love.
Oh, darling, I'm so blue and lonely. Want your love here only. Please bring your love. Oh, darling, I miss you so much. Miss your gentle touch. Please bring your love. I want to hold you, with you, tell you how I feel, and show you that I love you, and tell you my love is real. Oh, darling, I'm just a fool, in love. Please bring your 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 love.
That is a very cool tune there, requested by Sugar Bear Sterling. That's Phil and Harv. You heard the Blossoms in the background there, and also a group called The Mixtures, February 61. That's on Rampart Records. Matey even liked that tune. Maybe Matey requested that tune before. That's a possibility. Darling parentheses, Please Bring Your Love is the name of the tune, the first of two on Rampart Records. Let's stay in 1961. We go back to Brooklyn, New York. This is a request for Ronnie Sherman. You know, I mentioned earlier about Eddie and the Starlights with the writer credit on that Lincoln's record. Well, this group that Ronnie requested first recorded as Eddie and the Starlights. I'm sure you know their tune To Make a Long Story Short came out on Scepter in 1958, but in 1961 they changed their name to the Whipperwills, and they had this release on Jerry Blaine's Josie record label, co-written by the lead singer. His name is Eddie Jenkins. So this is going out to listener Ronnie Sherman, September 61. These are the Whipperwills on the Josie label with Eddie Jenkins on lead. The song is called Deep Within for Ronnie.
Deep within, there's a love I tried to say. There's a girl I'm dreaming of, building my
That's going out to Ronnie Sherman there. Those are the Whipperwills, a.k.a. Eddie and the Starlights. September 1961, it's on Josie Records. Deep Within is the name of the tune. And Deep Within Your Mind, if you'd like to send Johnny G a request, you can contact me at vinyltreasures@aol.com. If you have a request you want to hear, send it to me. Chances are... Not to Johnny Mathis did Chances Are, right? I may have it. I might not have it. Don't have everything, but I do have a lot. So you can check it out. You see, I had that request for Sterling on the Carlton record label, and Fred didn't even know that record. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasures show, we head to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania again. Made a few trips to Pittsburgh tonight. This is a request for Ken McKenna, Kenny Mack in our chat room, and he requested Cornelius Harp and the Mar-Vells. They had about 13 releases on the Colpix record label. Now, I'm sure many of you know their biggest hit. Their first one on Colpix went all the way to number one, I think, on the Billboard Hot 100. It was called Blue Moon. And that prompted Colpix to have the guys release an LP. And in 1961, they put out an LP on the Colpix label it was called Blue Moon. And I think it had 9 cuts that were never released, or never came out on a 45. And later in the 1970s, there was collector and record dealer Tom Trubosky, who is no longer with us, unfortunately. He owned a label called Owl Records. I think this was in 1974, as a matter of fact. And he released he had lots of records. Both sides of the 45s on Owl were LP cuts. And Kenny requested one of those that was available only on that LP, that Blue Moon LP, until 1974. And so this is by request for Kenny Mack. This is with Cornelius Harp on lead. These are the Mar-Vells, recorded in 1961 on the Owl label. It was available at one time on the LP. The song is called Crazy Bells.
Church bells ringing all over town, 'cause my little girl just pushed me down. First to go ding and then to go dong. What's the matter with you, boy? Can't you hear that song? Crazy bells in my heart. Can't you hear them ringing? Ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. What's the matter with you, boy? Can't you hear that song? Crazy bells in my heart. Can't you hear them ringing?
As going out to Kenny Mack, those are the Mar-Vells, Cornelius Harp, and the Mar-Vells, only available in 1961 on the Blue Moon LP by the Mar-Vells, but in 74 came out on the Owl label. Crazy Bells is the name of the tune on By the Mar-Vells, going out to Kenny. Let's move into 1962 now. We go back out to California, to the Galaxy record label out of Berkeley, California. This is a request for Matey Campboy, another rare 45 on the Galaxy label. I have a green vinyl on this. Looks pretty cool, but it's late 1962. I don't know anything about the artist. His name is Eugene Knox, Knox, and he also wrote the tune. This is for Matey Campboy, Eugene Knox on Galaxy. It's called Miss You.
Miss you. Oh, oh. Miss you. Oh, oh. Miss you. I long to kiss you. Wonderful with you. Oh, oh. And how you feel. Love you. You know that I do you. Why be so untrue? Oh, oh. Please love me too. Love you. Oh, oh, oh. Night and day, I worry. Why do you keep me in misery? Oh, darling, I guess I just don't know just what to do. Why won't you hurry to me? Gee, baby, I miss you. I long to kiss you. I wonder who's with you and how you feel. Miss you, baby. Oh, don't you know that I love you, baby? Can't you see that I want you, baby? That's why I miss you. I miss you. Miss you, baby.
That sounds like somebody out in California, maybe under an alias, possibly Eugene Knox. Knox is his name. That's on the Galaxy record label. I have it on green vinyl. It's the promo. That's by request from Matey Campboy, late 62, Eugene Knox with Miss You. We continue here in Vinyltreasure Overtime. Here's a request for Cheryl Morgan. This group is out of the Bronx, New York. They were essentially known as the Halos, had a big hit in 1961. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the tune Nag, but this group is called the Spindle Toppers with Carl, and Carl is really Carl Spencer, and he was a member of that group, the Halos, and Carl Spencer also co-wrote this tune, and not only was he a member of this group and the Halos, he was also a member of the Star Steppers, I think, and other groups, but this is September 62. This is going out to Cheryl Morgan on ABC Paramount Records, the Spindle Toppers with Carl, and the tune is called Hey Moon for Cheryl.
Hey moon, don't glow tonight.
by my side. Oh, she's gone away. See the little bitty teardrop in my eye. I'm bluer than the deep blue sea. My heart is filled with misery. There's nothing left for me to do but cry. Oh, cry. Oh, cry. Just watch me cry, cry, cry. These stars don't shine so bright. She left me all alone and blue, and now I cry. Won't somebody let me know what's left to do? My heart is filled with memories of how she used to walk with me. Now I've lost her and I wonder why. Oh, why? Oh, why? I wonder why, why? Won't you try to send her back home to me? Whoa, please, right now. I'm lonely as a guy can be. If I could hold her just once more and kiss the lips that I adore and hear her say that I'm her only guy. Oh my, oh my. I said, my. Mr. Wind, send my baby back home to me. My, send my baby back home to me.
That's going out to Cheryl Morgan, the Spindle Toppers, with Carl Spencer on lead, September 1962. It's on the ABC Paramount record label. Hey Moon is the name of that one. We are in 1962 as we go back out to Los Angeles, California. This is the debut single for this group called The Vows. Came out on George Mottola's Marquee record label. And members of this group consisted of Ralph Chestnut. He was the bass. His cousin Morris Chestnut, James Moore, and the female lead who also wrote this tune. Her name was Helen Simpson, and I'm featuring the true first press of this. Came out on the Black Marquee record label. It's very rare on this black label. You can get the orange presses. Those were easy because this was somewhat of a hit, I think, out in California. But these are The Vows. It's even got the title isn't even correct. By the way, you can go to my Facebook wall and see I post a lot of the rarer records that I play on the show, and I posted this one. But these are The Vows from March 62 on Marquee, and this is called I Wanna a Chance. It's supposed to be I Want a Chance, but on the first press, it's I Wanna a Chance. The Vows.
Ooh.
Those are the Vows with Helen Simpson on lead. What a great ballad that is. March 1962 on the Marquee Records. She says, I Want a Chance, but they had an extra A in there. I Wanna a Chance. That is a mistake, and either they pulled it or I don't know that, but you can get it on the, I think you should go for about $10 or $15, maybe. At least that's what I paid for my orange copy, but not for that copy. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are in 1962. Now, last week I played a request for John Rhinebeck by the Dreamers. They formed in Yonkers, New York, and the song was called Because of You. I featured it on the original label Cousins Records, and featured Frank Camerata on lead. It was Nick Nicola that asked Johnny G to flip the 45 over, so let's flip it over for Nick. This one from October 62, The Dreamers. This also comes out on the May label, which is the second label, but it first came out on Cousins. Now, this is the same group that recorded to George Goldner's Gold Disc label, but this is on Cousins, The Dreamers, the flip side of Because of You. The song is called Little Girl for Nick.
Little girl, little girl, little girl,
Little girl, little girl.
I know Joe Shacatano likes that song because I see Charlene left it in. There was that, you must have requested that a while back, Joe. But anyway, that's going out to Nick Nicola, The Dreamers there. Frank Camerata and The Dreamers, October 62. Featured it on the Cousins label. That was the first label. Little Girl. I found that in Yonkers, New York for a quarter when it was fun looking for records. At one time it was. Let's move on here as we move into 1963 now, as this group, they're from East Harlem, the East Harlem section of New York City, and this is a request for listener John Rhinebeck, and this group signed with the AKU label in 1963, and this was their debut single, and this is going out to John. It features Joe Karate on lead, Cariati, or Cariati, I guess, but it's from March 63. These are the Delmonicos. The Delmonicos on Aku. It's called You Can Call. This is for John Reinbeck.
Felt so blue, it works that way, missing you day after day, but it's over now, I no longer care, so you can call, yeah, you can call, but I promise you so many nights I sat and cried. You said you'd phone. Oh, how you lied, but my heart is wise. Yeah, it no longer cries. Oh, you can call. Yeah, you can call. But I promise you I won't be there. You went away and held his hand. Now that he's gone, you think I'll understand. But you can go. Oh, you can go. But I promise you, yes, I promise you, you can call, but I won't be there. Go on and call me, you can call, but I won't be there. Go on and call me.
Has gone out to John Reinbeck. Those are the Delmonicos. Delmonicos from March 1963 on the Aku record label. You Can Call. I think John requested the flip of that too. That's for next week. Chris Farrellis sold me that record a long time ago. Let's move on here. We are in 1963, and here is another cool girl group sound, a request for listener Mady Campway. We go back out to Los Angeles, California. These gals had two releases on H.B. Barnum's H3 label. The group is called The Sweethearts, and this side features Uma Hurd on lead, and she co-wrote the song. Going out to Mady from 1963, May 63. Give a listen to The Sweethearts on H3. It's called Puppy Love. This is for Mady.
Puppy love.
One day, I was talking with my mother about my love affair. I told her about a guy that I loved and that I really cared. Then she said, it's puppy love that I feel in my heart. She said, it won't last, it will fall apart. This thing called puppy love. Puppy love, puppy love. Mother said, don't you know? Life's just a dream that it's not. No, it's not. in my heart. She said it won't last, it will fall apart. This thing called puppy love, puppy love, puppy love. Ooh, it's not puppy love, puppy love, puppy love. It's not puppy love.
That's a great girl group sound going out to Matey Campboy there. Those are the Sweethearts. The Sweethearts on the H3 record label, H.B. Barnum's label, Puppy Love, Uma Hurd on lead from March 1963. And the Sweethearts, this Sweethearts group should not be confused with the group managed by Bobby Sanders that recorded for Ray Starr. But this actually charted, this record charted number 23 on KBLA out of Burbank, California. Let's continue here in 1963. A couple weeks ago, played a request for listener Ronnie Sherman, another great group out of Brooklyn called the Violons, and Ronnie requested Mother Nature by the Violons on the Al John label, another label managed by band leader Al Brown. But let's flip over this 45. That was the ballad side. This is the up-tempo side. It features Bobby Alvarez on lead. This is 1963. These are the Violons on the Al John record label, and the flip side is called Lone Stranger.
The Lone Stranger rides again.
La 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 bang bang whoa bang. Well, I know that you watch the Lone Stranger show. He's the best on the rodeo. When his guns go bang bang whoa bang. Well, I know you love to watch the Lone Stranger show. Oh, he's the best on the rodeo. When his guns go bang bang whoa bang. For he and Tonto stay roam around the plain. Oh, when these come their way, oh, they go bang, bang, bang. La 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 la. When his guns go bang, bang, whoa, bang. Well, now the Lone Stranger rides again. Boogity, 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 boogity. Ride a cowboy, go ahead. Boogity, 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 boogity.
They're called the Violons. The Violons, that's the flip of Mother Nature's song entitled Lone Stranger, 1963 release on the Al John record label. Going out, no, that's not going out to anybody, going out to Johnny G. We're getting closer to the end here. Thank you all for tuning into the Vinyl Treasure Show. Got about 4 more records to go, maybe 5. But got a couple more requests here to fill in, so please stay tuned. And here's one for Joe Shacatana. We go back out to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania here. For this group, they have 2 releases on the Joey label, and that's a label out of Pittsburgh. This is their second, and written by the guitarist for the group. His name is John Kinkle, and they're called the Caravels. The Caravels from 1963. This is on the Joey label, going out to Joe Shacatano. It's called Falling for You. This is for Joe. They're called the Caravels. They're out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's by request for Joe Shacatano, 1963 on the Joey label. It's called Falling for You. Hopefully you're falling for these 45's tonight on the 50's and early 60's edition. If you're new to the program, tell your friends about it. Also subscribe to my YouTube page. You can subscribe and then you can click the bell to get email notifications when I'm live. You'll just get an email. You can just click it and it'll take you on to the show. If not, if you remember, well then you'll see me. And also I'm here on Oldies and More radio beginning at midnight. And I'll be back next Saturday night. Also, I do a Monday night show. It's an all 60s show where I feature lots of soul 45's out of my collection. But let's continue here. 1, 2, 3, 5 more 45's to go. We go back to Brooklyn, New York. This is a request for Sugar Bear Sterling in our YouTube chat room, as this group first recorded as the Runarounds on the Pio record label, but then they decided that there were too many groups by that name, and they decided to change it to the Emotions, and they signed with Cap Records, and they would score their biggest hit in 1962. Actually, I like the song. It was called Echo. That came out on the Cap label, but they recorded on other labels. They had releases on Laurie, on Karate, and they did 4 on the 20th Century Fox label, and Sterling requested their third of 4. And this is a cover tune. This song was originally done in October of 1954 on the Herald label by Charlie and Ray. But let's give a listen to this version as requested by Sterling. Joe Favale, he's the lead singer on this. We go back to March 1964. We move into 64. These are the Emotions on 20th Century Fox, going out to Sugar Bear Sterling. The name of the tune is called I Love You Madly. So Sugar Bear Sterling going crazy over that tune there, The Emotions. Joe Fafali on lead, March 1964. That's their third of 4 on 20th Century Fox record, A Styrene That Plays Nice. It's called I Love You Madly. That's the Charlie and Ray tune that was their biggest hit back in October of 1954. Let's stay in 1964. Let's go back out to Los Angeles, California. This is a request from my number 1 California listener, Matey Campbell. Camp Boy, and this group tried to capitalize on a brand of candy, as I know many of you out there, especially Sterling, loves those M&Ms. Well, this group is called the M&Ms and The Peanuts, and they put out 3 on the Money label. I don't think it was owned by John Dolphin at this time. And where's Reed when I need him? He knows the scoop on the Money record label. But this is their first of 3, and the group is actually a trio. It's Pat White, Willie Malone, and Norman Richmond. And it's the dual leads on this are Willie Malone and Norman Richmond. And this came out in June of 1964. This is their first of 3 on the Money label, and a by request for Matey. Let's give it a whirl. The M&Ms and the Peanuts on Money Records. It's called Open Up Your Eyes for Matey.
Why don't you open up your eyes so you can see how much your loving means to me? Yes, my dear, I want some loving from you. Yes,
That's going out to Matey Campoy, June 64 release for the M&Ms and the Peanuts. Is that how it is there? Yeah, that's how it is on their first release. And that one there on the Money record label, Open Up Your Eyes is the name of the tune. 3 more 45s to go here before we shut down here on the All 50s and Early 60s edition. And speaking of Matey, last week she requested Johnny H. and the Sinceres, a song called Why Don't You Write Me. That was a cover of the Feathers tune. Also, the Jacks also recorded that. I featured it on the El Zarpe record label. And the lead singer on that was Johnny H., who was, is the name here? I don't know. Yes, no, Johnny Hernandez. Is that his name? I think it was. But anyway, Charlene, I asked Charlene because the flip side of this song is called Crazy Baby. And a long time ago, when Charlene first connected with Johnny G here on the Vinyltreasure show, she sent me a request. Charlene, was it Bob and Justine you requested? I think way back when you asked me if I had that record. And she asked me if I had this record, and I didn't have it. She goes, Johnny, do you have Buck Rogers on the Montel label called Crazy Baby? And I didn't have it. And not that she forced me to buy it, but I did buy the record, and I played it for her as a request. So when I was doing the flip sides from last week's show, she writes down all the flip sides all you guys want to hear, and then I listen to them and I say, well, I'm going to play this, because I don't always play the flip sides. If I feel I don't want to, I won't play it, but most of the times I do. But no one requested this flip side, so I said, Charlene, I said, do you like this song Crazy Baby? And she said, yes, Johnny, I do like it. So I said, well, I'm going to play it for you. So she sent me the research, and she said that the artist doing this, which is, by the way, this is side 1. Matey requested side 2 last week, which was Johnny H. and the Sinceres. But this side is Little Joe and the Latinairs. And Little Joe and the Latinairs, she had it here, the flip is his older brother. It's Johnny H's older brother. And he's also from Temple, Texas. And this is from September 64. Of course, this is a cover. And this is on the El Zarpe record label. And we're going to send it out by special request to Charlene Whiteside, who helps Johnny G and helps all the listeners get some of this information that I really, I look at it, I try to massage it as I can, but Charlene spends a lot of time helping me and maintaining my database. So that's why I can tell a lot of you listeners, well, because I'm getting requests for records I played last week. Kenny Mack doesn't know, if he just tuned into the show, that he sent me 20 requests that I played last month. So I'm not going to play those. I got 150,000 records in my collection, so I like to play lots of new stuff here. But anyway, that's how I keep track of it, or I would never know. But anyway, this is going out by special request for Charlene, and I know Matey likes this record too, so we'll send it out to Charlene and Matey, September 64, Little Joe and the Latinairs on El Zarpe, and a cover tune of the song Crazy Baby.
Crazy, crazy, crazy baby, but I am over you. Crazy, crazy, crazy baby, what am I gonna do? All of my life I wanted someone like you.
That's going out to Charlene Whiteside there. That's Little Joe and the Latinairs. September 1964 on the El Zarpe record label, song entitled Crazy Baby. Two more 45s to go. We're going to sign off here. I'm closing actually with an instrumental for Nikki V, but we go back out to California. Actually, this is a request for Nick Nicola. This vocal quartet formed while attending Mount Vernon Junior High School out in Los Angeles, California. They were called the Valaquans, which translate, I'm going to beat, who was doing the translations before? I think it was Big Dave Swinger, but Valaquans translate to the cool ones, and this is what that's from Steve Prope's L.A. book. But sources say this release is from 1964. I think Prope said 62. Either way, I think it's a great tune. Both sides are good on this. The lead singer is Joe Thomas. It's from 64. We'll say the Valaquans on Laguna. It's called Teardrops.
Teardrops fell from my eyes. Teardrop fell from my eyes. Now I know why those teardrops fell. Teardrops fell from my eyes. Oh, darling, do you remember the promise that we made, that we'd be together until eternity? You said you'd be mine for the rest of my life, and maybe someday you'd become my wife. Oh, teardrops fell from my eyes. Oh, darling, I didn't lie. I was true to you, but you played me for a fool. Oh, those teardrops fell from my eyes last night. Teardrops fell from my
That's by request for Nick Nicola there. Those are the Valaquans. Joe Thomas on lead. That came out on the Laguna record label. Song entitled Teardrops. That's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. Want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to original vinyl 45s out of my collection. If you want to get in touch with me, send me an email, as disc jockeys love to receive emails from their listeners. It's vinyltreasures@aol.com. If you have the request, that's the address to use also. And if I have the 45, as I mentioned, I'll play it for you. I play the records by year, so you'll kind of know when your song is good. If you're going to send me some 60s stuff, it'll be toward the second half of the show. If not, it'll be toward early stuff is toward the beginning of the show. But that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Hope you enjoyed a lot of the tunes you heard tonight, or maybe some of the first things that you may have heard you never heard before. But that is my intention. But again, thank you all for tuning in tonight, and I'll be back next Saturday night again at 10 o'clock right here on on YouTube and also on the Oldies and More radio network. And I do a Monday night show at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I play a lot of soul 45s out of my collection, plus other stuff. But I do that from 8 to 11 right here on Oldies and More. The full show is there, but also it's here on YouTube, so you can check it out. We'll see as I count down toward the retirement. Maybe I'll do another show or like earlier in the afternoon, because I know I have a lot of the UK listeners that tune in and they like soul music. Some big group rec guys out there in the UK. I know they are there, but it'll be earlier, so maybe it'll be a lot easier for some of you to tune in on that show. And I'm also going to have some guest collectors come up here. They'll bring their 45s. I mean, even though I may own a lot of the records, but still, it's a lot of fun to have somebody else come. I don't have to prepare for anything. They can do the whole thing. That's what's a lot of fun about it. But anyway, that's going to do it, folks. We're going to close the show tonight with a request for Nicky V. Nicky V, a longtime listener to the Vinyltreasure show. He heard me play an instrumental on one of my test shows. I think I did it a couple weeks ago, and he asked if I would feature it. I said, well, Nicky, I can't really open my show with it, but I can close with it, and that's going to be our closer tonight from 1961. It's actually a B-side. The A-side is actually a pretty cool novelty like cut-in record, like they use excerpts of other songs. Maybe I'll spin it after I shut down. But the flip side is an instrumental by the Unwashables on the Carol label. It came out in September 61, and it's called Buddy's Beat. And that's for my buddy listener, Nicky V. That's our closer tonight. Thank you all for tuning in to the program. Thank you, Charlene, again for all your help. Once again, if anybody has requests, you can send them to me at vinyltreasures@aol.com. And also tell your friends about it, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Tell your friends. I'll be back next Saturday night. Just want to say, everybody, so long for Nicky. Okay, folks, that's going to do it. Let me show you these two records, I am beat today. I can tell you that much here. Here you go. That's the Laguna record, Teardrops by the Valaquans. I don't think it's that easy to find. I think it might have gone down in price, but it's not easy to find this record out of Los Angeles. And this other one is by special request for Nikki Vinciguerra. And it's the Unwashables. You see the Unwashables there, Buddy's Beat. That's actually the B-side. See the B-side. The A-side, it was interesting because I didn't know anything about the record. I bought it. Carol Records. Who's on here? The Delroys, I think, are on here. Jordan and the Fascinations, are they on this label? But you see it says The Lonely One, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a cool record, right? Well, it's actually a novelty cut-in, like the Flying Saucer. I'll play it. You can hear a little bit of it. Yeah, this is it, The Lonely One. It's from 61. It's called A Letter to My Love. It's a girl that's singing this, or she's on this. Here, listen.
My darling, I miss you very much tonight. Though you're away, I wish I could be in your arms. Tonight. Since you went away, there's been no one else. I'm just... I can't help remembering the night we first met. Do you recall? It was at my birthday party, and although you came with someone else, you and I stood by my birthday cake together and counted
16 candles.
It was a great party, and I always think of that night.
How when you danced.
Life was so wonderful after you came along, because after we told each other of our love, everything was
so fine. So fine.
And no matter how long we both live and love, I know I'll always be able to say,
darling, you sent me.
When you looked at me with that loving look and said,
oh, Donna, oh, Donna.
I knew that you would always be
Eddie, my love.
Please come back soon, my darling, so that our dreams can come true. And
church bells may ring, church bells may ring.
And until then, please, please, please.
Why don't you write me, darling? Send me a letter.
I love only you and think of our thrilling plans when it's all quiet.
On the still of the night.
I'll be dreaming about you. Good night.
There you go. Probably just not enough for me to have a copyright strike on some of those hits, probably. But anyway, that's what that is. I got a lot of these records. Brian Korn will have to listen to that. I know he has this record. I'm pretty sure he does. He's got a lot of those novelty records. But anyway, folks, thank you all for tuning in tonight. And I'll be back next Saturday at 10 o'clock. Tell your friends. Send me your requests at vinyltreasures@aol.com. I'll see some of you Monday night, others next Saturday night. Just want to say, everybody, bye-bye. Take care.